Hey guys, it's Coach Victoria here. We're going to be going over how to do the level 3 balance beam routine step by step today. So let's start with the mount. We're going to salute and we're jumping to a front support and bringing our silly leg up behind us. I'm going to be saying silly leg and happy leg. That is how we will differentiate for righties and lefties. Their dominant leg and their non-dominant leg. That's what we use when we're teaching our athletes. So that's how I'm going to be saying that today. But the silly leg is going to come up into a fish pose behind your bottom, kind of kicking your bottom as you jump to front support. I'm going to show you from the other side so that you can see what I am doing there. But the silly leg is coming up to a fish pose, knees together, pointed toes behind our bottom. Now I'm starting kind of close to the end of the balance beam because that's where we'll just have a little bit of choreography and a handstand over here. So you don't really want to be in the middle of the balance beam because you won't be able to get close enough to the end with the choreography steps. So we're jumping to front support, silly foot goes up, and then you're going to bring that foot and put it on the balance beam. You're going to put this portion of your foot, this middle portion of your foot, on the front of the balance beam with a straight leg. And obviously I'm a little bit too tall and this beam is a little too short, so your foot would not be on the ground, you'd still be in the front support. And then from there, we are going to bring this foot through the gap to a sitting position, and our arm is up here in a crown. Now we're going to turn the hand that's on the balance beam. We call it butterfly hand, so we're going to take our hand and turn it this way, so that we'll be able to grab the balance beam. And then this arm is going to come from the crown and press all the way down. You're going to look down it, make it very dramatic. A supple arm movement. Turn and straighten the silly leg out behind you. Go to a T with the arms while you sit down on the heel. This leg is straight down. Make sure it's not in front or behind. It's just straight down. And then from here, from this T position, the arms are going to come down. We're going to come up to here in a kneeling position with the silly foot in front. Pass through a crown and then press backwards. Our happy leg is behind us and it's straight with the toe tucked under. All right, let's go over that mount again one more time. Salute, jump to front support, silly foot goes up behind. Bring the foot onto the balance beam. Bring the other leg through. Arm goes to a crown looking forwards. Turn your hand, the one that's on the beam, the happy one. Press and look down the silly hand. Hands come together, butterfly hands. Turn to your knee, keep this leg straight behind you, the silly leg straight behind you. Go to a T. Arms come down, kneeling position, through the crown, and press. So that's how we do the mount. If you need to review that again, just go backwards in the video and watch it again. All right, so from here, we now have our silly foot in front, and we're kind of close to the end of the balance beam. We've got our arms pressed back behind us. They've gone through the crown and pressed. And so we're going to go into some poses here. I'm just going to show you the arms first. We're going to bring the arms bent to our shoulders and then press them forwards, palms down. So that's just the arms. Boom. Okay. So now let's do this with the legs. I like to tell my athletes lights on before lights off. And so there's going to be another sequence of poses that the foot is going to go lower. So we're going to do this sequence of poses with the foot high. So that's lights on for them. So from here, we're going to go lights on. So what I've done is I've taken the happy leg from behind and put it in the front. I've bent the silly leg. We're going to stand on it bent. And now we're going to tap, tap with that happy leg on the knee. So again, it goes here, tap, tap. Now we're going to straighten the base leg, point the happy foot forwards, and place the arms in a T position. So let's watch how that all happens quickly. And press, tap, tap, T. One more time. And press, and make sure you bend, tap, tap, straighten and T. Point position with the arms up. And this is what's going to lead into our handstand. So we go into a lunge or a mountain climber. We do our handstand at the end of the beam, making sure we reach vertical. Step together and finish. So stepping together out of a handstand or to a lunge is going to have your happy foot in front. So now we're going to do the lights off sequence of poses where our foot is going to go low. So we're going to take our silly foot, the one that's behind, and we are going to put it low on the beam. Now the arms kind of did that same thing there. Bend and then press. Now notice it's my happy leg that's bent now, but this foot is on the beam in a point position here. Now we're going to cover our eyes and stack our hands. So like this, happy hand on the top, the arm on the top, silly arm on the bottom. We're kind of going to cover our eyes there. So lights off, cover your eyes and you're bending both legs. And then you're going to a T. You're going to stay bent on this base leg, this happy leg. And then we're going to put our silly hand on our hip and press with the happy hand, palm down, go to a lock stand. Okay, this is going to get us ready to go into our turn sequence. So let's go over that all again. I know that part is probably the most confusing part of the routine. So let's pretend we've just stood up from the mount. If we just stand from the mount, our silly foot is in front, our hands are behind us. And press, tap, tap, straighten and T, point, handstand, finish. Take this silly foot from behind, slide it forward and bend the base leg, that's your happy leg. Cover the eyes, go to a T, staying low, and press. So what I did there was I took the leg that was in front and I just dragged it back to the leg that was behind. So our silly foot is still in the front here. Now we're in this position. Silly hand is on the hip, our happy hand is forward. Hip hand does the work. That's what we need to say. Hip hand does the work. We are going to bring the hip hand around our head and put it out to the side. Okay? Hip hand does the work. That's the arm path for the silly arm. Your good arm is just going to get ready for a turn. Hip hand does the work. Those are the arms, right? I'm going to do it facing forward. Hip hand does the work. Now we're ready for a turn. So let's get the feet ready for that turn as well. So from here, hip hand does, oh, sorry, silly foot in the front. Hip hand does the work. What I did is I dropped onto the heel of my silly leg and I put my happy leg out in the front. From there, so now we should have the arms ready and the feet ready in a point position. Now we're going to do our heel snap turn. We are going to go to a passe. Open, heel snap turn, step, hands behind the bottom. One of the most important parts of the heel snap turn is that you make sure that your heel touches the beam before you step and lock. As you step and lock out of that heel snap turn, arms are here in the heel snap turn. As you step and lock, this is when the arms will get to go to a crown, around, and down, hands behind your bottom. Okay, let's go over that one more time. So we got the silly foot in front. Hip hand does the work, drop, prep for the turn. Heel is flat, open, heel snap turn, heel comes back down, step, hands go to a crown and through the crown and back around. Okay, so from here, now we've got our silly foot in front again. We're going to need to take our happy foot and put it in the front for our jump sequence. This one's very simple. You simply put the happy foot in front. And that gets us ready for our jump sequence. The jumps for level 3 is plie, stretch, jump, land, plie, stretch, jump, land, plie, Fosse pose. Okay, for the Fosse pose, I have my happy hand on top of my silly hand. It's like pinky finger to thumb, kind of fingers spread out on a high releve. Okay, so happy foot's in front, plie, stretch, jump, land, plie, stretch, jump, land, plie, Fosse pose. From the Fosse pose, we are going to go to an arabesque. So we are going to tap. Is that correct, Kaylin? Tap. Arabesque hold for 1 gymnastics. Tap again. In an arabesque, the chest does not drop. Stays upright, arms are in a T. So we just finished our jumps. We've gone to our Fosse pose. We're going to drop and put the leg out to a tap. Lift, 1 gymnastics. Tap. Now we're going into our leap pass. So this sets us up perfectly. Step arms down, leap arms out, plie, releve. That's going to set us up for a leap to a stretch jump in the future. Let's go over that leap pass one more time. So we're going to go stretch jump, land, stretch jump, land, Fosse pose. Put the foot out, tap, arabesque, 1 gymnastics, tap, step arms down, leap arms out, plie, which means both feet are flat on the beam and we're bending, arms down by our side, and then we stretch that into a releve. Okay, after our releve, we have to get ready for another set of turns. The turns are going to be a double pivot turn. We're in our releve. We're going to step with our silly foot in the front. Arms are in a crown. And make sure this is really a step. You don't just put it in the front. There's a step forward. So it's step forward, silly foot. Lock the happy foot behind. The trick with the pivot turn is to put the weight in your back foot as you turn. The weight on the back foot. Pivot turn. Now you're going to take the silly foot, put it directly in front. So there's no step here. And turn. So the purpose of the double pivot turn is to get the body alignment correct for a full turn in the future. Hopefully I will do this justice, but there's a little rhythm to it. So leap, land the leap, plie, releve, okay? Now we're gonna go step, now arms in a crown, just like if we were doing a full turn. So step silly, lock, pivot, lock, pivot. So the body alignment that happens there is the same body alignment that happens in a full turn. So if you noticed, it kind of made a full turn. So you don't want to break those up. A lot of people do step, lock, pivot, step, lock, pivot, and that does not accomplish what we need the double pivot turn to accomplish. So we've done the double pivot turn. We're now getting ready for our dismount. We should end the double pivot turn with our happy leg in the front on a releve, arms in crown. And we're going to step backwards. We're going to take the happy foot from the front and move it backwards behind. We're going to stay in releve with the silly foot. So keep the silly foot in releve. That's how that step is going to go. We're going to go step back, push. So arms came to our shoulders and then pressed, push, okay. Step back again, pull. I'll show you how the hands are. They're interlocked. So you put your good hand facing away from you, your bad hand facing into you. Grab, lock the fingers. Okay, that's the pull position. Step back, push. The foot goes to 4 starch, which means flat ankle in the front. Step back, pull. Point. Don't skip the point. Never skip the point. Lunge or mountain climber. And side handstand, turn, dismount. Okay, now that we've gone through every bit of it, if there's a bit that you're confused on, you can go back and watch that. Let's kind of piece it all together from standing up from the mount. So we stand up from the mount. We've got our silly foot in front, our hands pressed back. Oh, I'm probably a little too far. There we go. And press, tap, tap, T, point, lunge, lever into a handstand, handstand, step together, finish. Take the silly foot from the back, lights off, cover your eyes, and T, staying low. Silly hand goes to hip, happy hand presses, hip hand does the work, drop the silly foot, get the happy foot in front, ready for a heel snap turn. Passe, heel snap turn, heel down, step, hands behind the bottom. Silly foot is in front right now. From here, we are going to stretch jumps. Is that right? Okay. So I got a little lost because I'm talking. It's easier when you're just doing it. From here, we're going to put the happy foot in the front and stretch jump. Land, plie, stretch jump. Land, plie, flossy pose. Happy foot's in the front. Happy hand is on top. And tap. So I went straight to a drop. Tap, lift, one gymnastics. Tap, step arms down. Leap arms out. Plie, releve. Step silly foot, lock happy foot, arms in a crown. Pivot, lock, pivot. Step back, push. Silly foot's in the front. Step back, pull. Happy foot's in the front. Point. Lunge or mountain climber. Side handstand. Turn, dismount. And salute. And that's it. If you guys find this helpful, visit our channel and check out all of our other videos, or follow us on Instagram at Flight Athletic Academy. Bye.